Little fun, family fun, drama. This is actually my son getting a little frustrated with the other stylists.
Well, there's not much. Yeah, there's not much we can both do this.
We're all trying to help. He wants to just do it himself.
Well, it's not that simple.
I normally would see this in the mirror.
Right.
So if I've got that straight, I'm looking straight on him, and I'm backed up to him. So we got a group of stylists doing a little team building, little education.
Yeah.
Brennan,
I mean, it's close.
my second to youngest son, is actually going to do the cut on this hair on the mannequin.
For our stand.
My standards are a little higher than his, and so he said good enough. I didn't really like the comment, so we were kind of joking. Notice here I'm pointing at his pinky sinking in on that section. On the other side, the hair's coming straight to the section, so the hair's going to be a little bit shorter. He doesn't realize it until he goes to the other side to check it. Watch how it's just a tiny bit longer.
Oh, wow, yeah. There are little
pieces that are going to be because these fingers we're pushing in on the other side, yeah.
And it's not much, but I guess and once you texturize all of it, I wonder if that would even
Oh, it's not as big a deal then, right. And then where do you think we'll do the bangs? Let's go ahead and get those bangs a little bit too.
I would go a little shorter if it were me, but
For sure.
I would go about an inch shorter, I think, in the bangs.
Well, then do it now.
I agree.
Let's do it now with taking it off right there. We'll end up bringing that around to the temples, but for now, let's just get everything
Right,
in.
got it.
Yeah, I
There you
think
go.
so. Yeah, that's safe. And then finish your mohawk strip all the way back. Make sure you don't have a corner right here, too.
Yeah.
No. It's just one of the bulk removing. One of the stylists walked in just a few minutes late and thinks we're doing a mohawk. But it's actually the technique I use on all my hair replacement cuts to remove the majority of the bulk. So it's because the system, that's something to keep in mind, because the system goes so far down, if we just keep the mohawk up here, this is going to be so freaking long.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll take that mohawk strip and we'll round it a little bit, but no more than like we did in the front.
I want it to come down probably to about the neckline.
Also, that head's probably a little bit smaller.
That's true.
You could, it probably is, but one of the safety margins you could do is you could say, how long do you think we're going to want it past right here? We want it to hang into
3 inches.
his hair. I don't know,
I would choose 3.
3 fingers.
3 fingers,
So
yeah.
you could literally take a little bit of hair and just cut it right here.
Not yet.
Solid, right now. And use that as a guide. Right? Brennan is spreading his legs really wide to get low, like a short hairdresser like the rest of us.
Nothing.
But we decided to raise the mannequin a little bit to help him out. He's always playing it a little on the safe side. He's done his fair share of bad haircuts and learned the hard way. So you don't really...
Whose fingers?
Yeah, anybody's.
Okay.
All you want to do is, just... The stylists are enjoying the banter between father and son. Okay.
There? Or should I do it against his head?
Either way, he does it a little too long again. That's more than 3 fingers.
I know it is.
He's trying to go safe?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be safe.
You have to be safe. You ever heard of what?
I must be getting hard of hearing because I did not hear any of this during the education. Post editing, I'm thinking, what are you guys talking about? See how much hair left over?
Yes.
So when you comb this down, a lot less hair. So just cut a little bit more. Follow directions, Brennan. It doesn't matter if it gets cut. He doesn't quite get the angles yet, but he'll get it. That's plenty. Now use that as your guide when you're combing your mohawk section up to round that off to this. Yeah, get the top done first, and then you can kind of see where it is here. So you just gotta kind of roll over to it.
Like rollover minutes.
Right. I can't believe he remembers that.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Everything's unlimited.
I got a bucket of them at in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
Rollover minutes.
Y'all ever saw that commercial where they look like a little orange?
Yeah, they're little
They
orange
did a
things.
visual and they had their little orange things. So one time in my garage. I had
The nails.
I had a square bucket of roofing nails that have little orange caps, and my mom in front of my dad, and that's one of the funniest jokes she's ever made, because she doesn't really do a lot of jokes. She said, "Are those rollover mitts?" And my dad goes, "Carol, that's pretty funny."
I think my dad thought she was serious for just a second, and we were dying laughing.
Mom's got
I
jokes.
have a bucket of nails, and she said, "Is that rollover mitts?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got a bucket of rollover
We
mitts.
have a bucket of roofing nails with the orange tops. I'm so
No one will
using that.
get it anymore.
It was an old
That probably
commercial.
won't get it though. It'll
Yeah.
be totally lost on it.
I'm proud of Brennan focusing on that haircut through the talking. That's what I emphasize in the salon. Keep working and talking.
Real short, but is that
But is there anywhere on the head that the hair's gonna be
Again,
longer
playing
than
it safe.
No,
No,
that's
you're
very
right.
safe.
So cut it.
Yes.
Cut that line.
Yeah.
And we've all looked at the aftercut, so he knows.
You got to think on this guy's haircut.
He
Everything
did
is
this
about.
once already.
Yeah, everything on the haircut's about my length.
No, Bernard did.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I did the same cut a couple of weeks before this for the same client, so I thought I'd guide Brennan through for the learning experience and have a few people watch. And all of you guys. I love wet hair.
Why are y'all laughing at us?
I'm still laughing at Miss Carol.
Oh my god.
And then the dad's response.
Carol. That's funny.
He probably cursed a little first and said it's not rollover minutes.
He's a little off center right there.
That is funny though. He's not
I
wrong.
love the power of this mohawk strip. Gets rid of a lot of hair quick.
I
Right?
got away from it for a while and
So-
now I'm back doing it again.
So much.
I love it, yeah.
Yeah, I do. That's how I start every cut. Then I think I do venture off a little from what you taught me,
Right. So the next thing we're gonna do is the same thing you did here in the center.
but just pies.
Well, we're gonna do it right here.
That
But-
scares me.
Kelly brings up a good point in a little bit that we could have just started in the center and moved out towards the sides.
It's not in the hairline. It's right in front of it.
Right, and I
Because then
even
anything that blends in with the hair will be drug forward and be a little longer. So then you can do it here, and the pies pivot from here. So it's going to be coming around, getting this same. So you can check what you did there. With
He struggles with it for just a minute
center,
and then does it his way on the
go
second half, which works just as fine
You're not in the center.
and may be easier for most people.
Okay.
You got him so
Nervous. So you.
The important hair to gather in here is
So
the
thing
back
is to not have the
hair.
back hair come
That's
way
the
down here.
bulk we're trying to remove.
Have it,
The bangs we're going to be doing multiple sections across the front, so
here, it
doesn't need to be brought in, and that's kind of what I'm explaining to him right now.
But to kind of keep the top hair in the top of the finger. Don't let it travel down
Okay,
here.
'cause that'll
That way
be
it's flared
too
out.
long.
Right. Keep it all flared out in its position, and then here. Whatever length. I don't know. I didn't measure that front. I want you to do it. I want your pinky to be on the head here where you would normally do it. The same as whatever.
He gets me to texturize a little bit later, but for the most part, I'm trying to get him to do all of the cutting.
What is it? My finger's on the head. It's a drag out another, almost a full cone for me. So just see what that is to you. See what that is to you. And then do that same thing right in front of the hairline in the front. I'll put my hand against the head first.
yeah, we'll drag out.
And then another finger and a half, 2 fingers there. So you don't necessarily have to bring all this into it. It's
Right.
mostly that back hair that needs to bring into it.
And how do I know which angle?
90 degrees.
It's 90 degrees from this section here. So it's right here. This is the angle you hold it. What?
I don't know.
You don't have to get it all here in the first time. Yep, that's good.
Should I cut it there?
Yeah, we'll go.
Right, playing it safe again.
Close. Yep, so now just do that same thing in 2 more sections to get it over to the middle, and then do the same thing on the other side.
Y'all learning anything?
Learn something.
Make sure you pick all that up.
Why would you not use the first cut you did in the middle as a guide moving back the other way?
Me, that's what I do every time.
You could.
Because that's what I
You
do.
could.
Cause
That's
yeah,
fine.
I would take
Okay.
it from here and then take
Yeah,
it
that's
here
fine.
next.
We'll do
And
it.
look how much more
So you
comfortable
don't
I
have to
am.
trust your
And then
fingers.
That's
boom.
fine. But then I don't want to go any further than
No,
that. I usually go to the end of the line so I don't pass it up. So
Okay, okay.
That's the only reason. But yeah, you can. Because if I just get caught up and go too far.
And look how much that's already starting to finish the look.
I know, isn't it crazy? Just from the learn to play to the camera so you can try to never block. Not with your face. So you never block.
Yeah, so this becomes a running joke. He's taller than the rest of us, so he keeps
When you're doing these,
It looks
he keeps
awesome.
looking at the
when you're
camera,
doing these
but it's
sections, it's okay
missing
to
his
kinda
whole
bring it up and
face.
round it off a little if you need to. Blend it into the last section if you're.
I wish there was.
She comes in with a bowl and food in her mouth. I said, "Did you bring popcorn?"
they think they're coming to the movies.
Right at the ear.
Yeah, we don't
But
want it
he
to go
doesn't
over the
have
ears,
real
right? So I would
ears.
do a point cut, just right over the ear to about
So
here.
kind of the same length as the
And
back.
then just make sure you don't go straight around with that. You know, I think this back section was good.
Would you
here,
agree and
so,
say it's about the same length as this?
So look, I would just kind of round it down a little bit longer to meet this. You know that. Go ahead.
A girl once told me, why cut any solid lines in the perimeter if you don't want to end
So you know the
with
back of
solid
that
lines?
system is always the problem because if it's
And so that's kind of what I'm
If
teaching
it's
here is,
higher up,
hey, point cut it, razor
then
cut it,
you'll-
texturize it. Get that design line, but don't put the solid lines in.
I zoomed in on this.
I zoomed in so his face doesn't show again.
I thought it was. Yeah. You could do bigger. You don't have to be so fine.
I'm scared I'd cut myself if I go bigger.
Higher.
Well, then how the heck do I know where I'm cutting?
Where the scissors close.
You got jokes, huh?
No, that's true. That's where it cuts. You are. I mean, I do appreciate that you're a little safe in your cuts because when you said above the ear, you meant the ear canal, right? Not that floppy part.
Right.
That's part of the ear.
Right. Well, you said above the ear. I said at the ear.
Okay. I would go a little higher because we know that in that
Think so?
haircut that I showed you, his hair's a little shorter. Y'all agree? A little short.
Kelly, what do you think?
Kelly said
Be on my
yes.
side.
Kelly said
Start
yes.
calling you Jessica again.
So yes, if this was a longer layered or
Jessica interview.
just longer haircut on the actual client's hair around the edges, of course we'd leave it longer. But in this case, we know it's gonna
So often I'm
end
looking for
being a very short
Kelly.
haircut.
Your dad in my phone, if that's weird or anything. But
I'm dead in your phone.
He's daddy in my phone.
That's funny how it could be the same thing both y'all's phone is weird for one of you and not the other.
Yeah.
Round that off a little bit too. Since we know we got the side where we want it, we
Would
think
you
we
take
got the
it this
bang.
way?
No.
No, we're getting
We're doing the perimeter line right now.
yeah, the shape right now. Yeah, and you could go like that. Be precise, 'cause we're gonna be
We're gonna shatter those ends in a little bit with texturizing shears or thinning shears.
There's another side.
We're not gonna bore you with the other side. I'm gonna fast forward through that. So now we're gonna start to blend that design line at the bottom.
Bring all the
Doesn't
with
matter,
that
you're
mohawk
bringing
section on
the center
top.
hair is your guide. So
Oh, true.
you're coming in like this, and you see you've got the length, and you've got the center.
And I'm
So-
just cutting the corner off.
Yeah, you're just cutting.
Blend the two together.
Hard or cutting it pointy?
Yeah,
Yep.
hard. you're gonna texturize it here in a minute.
The reason why you can cut a harder line here is we're pulling it straight up in the air. So if it laid down, it would kind of feather or layer over itself. So a solid line pulled up in a layered section like this is not as solid as pulling it down and cutting a solid line.
Check this out. I pulled this one to cut where I thought it would be, and it was
Really?
already right.
Well,
Yeah, because you rounded it out.
no, because that was the
That's your
mohawk.
center.
I'm trying to sneak a snack and
That's
this
the guide. I was on.
fool
I was on
doesn't
the
realize he's right on top of the
Where?
same guide he started with.
guide. That's hilarious. Done. Well, not yet.
I was like, yeah. See if we can stick it in something.
No.
I'm gonna aim for his eyeball.
That's what Bob Ross says. You slap slap the devil out of it.
Push it all over and
With a drag.
What's
not
really
a
nice
rake.
about doing this without the client's hair in the way, you don't have any hair in the way.
Honestly.
Yeah. So you're gonna, why 2 brushes?
To make Kelly feel good.
You got,
We found a brush at the last second. Callie went all the way downstairs into the salon to get one,
you'll end up getting,
and we felt bad that we sent her away.
you'll end up getting from about here to here, and then you'll have to.
I try to go as far back as I
Right
can.
on there. You want to get to the center, but when you're slicking over this way, this falls in it. If you're slicking up that way, this falls. So
Right.
you kind of have
You
to
gotta
use
do it
this section
into
as a separate
a
part.
buffer.
Yeah, but
If
for
you
right
will.
now, let's get a tiny little skinny line.
So
there
now we're
and
going to do
texturize
a
it.
lots of texture. We like to use a texturizing tool called a 4420. Just a really, it's called a taper fine, a real fine
A straight line.
texturizing shear.
Because there's
And it
nothing
doesn't-
straight in this building.
He says there's nothing straight in this building.
That was a joke.
Don't tell your girlfriend.
I won't.
Right. Don't tell your girlfriend
I'm playing
that you
with
said there's
camera.
nothing straight in this building. So that little
Is
section
that
doesn't have to be
too
so
much there?
straight and perfect. It can be zigzag, it can be random.
I told you, just talk about here. Don't worry about
Thing
this
is gonna
section.
be quiet with music in the background.
Still a little thick here too.
I stopped
The
it
thinner
up
the
there.
section, the better here.
Did you?
But
Yeah.
there's nothing precise about this.
So when you texturize it, how much will you take? This is another thing where,
You take basically all that hair.
yeah, but Callie, this is something where a lot of people take texturizing shears and they're cutting straight across. And I just like some kind of an angle, anywhere from point cutting, which will barely take anything, but mostly a 45-degree angle. And we're gonna do, look, the tip of your scissor should be going in at half. So that's kind of where the comb sits, so you don't go too deep. So you're doing it like this, but if you go past halfway right here, see how the hair's bending like that? When you get into that section, it's gonna look like that.
I thought with this row it didn't really matter.
Not as much,
Not as-
because the
but-
other hair is gonna push down on it. But if you cut them this short, they're gonna stick out, and then all the hair on top.
Heard it here, guys.
He,
Cut it
he
down.
thinks we can see his.
Don't
Yeah.
cut it too short because
Right.
it will stick out.
And won't grow back.
Extension guru.
And it won't grow back.
It doesn't grow back.
Grow back.
I'm trying to be like all these YouTube personalities that have professionals on their page and they also do the thing and they like have to try to.
Could you say that in English? This is an English channel.
He thinks he has a
Also
YouTube
half.
page.
And
He forgot that he's on
You don't
mine.
have to do those fancy movements.
What?
I know it's because you got the tiger on your arm, but you
Arr.
could just go across.
Like this?
So if you have a very dull pair of texturizing shears and you cut and then pull, it'll pull hairs out of people's heads. So I like to cut and open before I pull away.
Okay.
And it goes
Maybe it looked
faster.
different before.
Chop, chop, chop,
Yeah, well,
chop.
you're doing something like this. I don't know, and you just
Just a little more practical.
The clients don't like that.
And he's right.
The player.
Clients think you're cutting
too fast or
too much hair.
It's
Exactly.
crazy how much you can do this bottom row, and it doesn't really.
Well, and we're using the 4420 taper
Again.
fine. It's a very, very fine thin and shear. Doesn't
Your
cut
face
much
is
hair.
not in it. It's literally cut off at your neck.
Well, they can tell I'm looking at it then.
So we're using the 4420.
That was the top.
No, it is.
Oh my
It is the
God.
best taper.
Oh, he's in it.
I'm so glad I came to watch this.
So now do that section really good.
It honestly is
and then
the
we'll
best
go to the
thin
other
shear in the
side.
world, though.
So you really do want to texturize that bottom section a
Never
whole
gonna air.
lot.
That's the thing.
The trick is just not to go too close to the head so you don't have them sticking out.
We'll play it
As
at-
long as you're
We'll
past,
play it at our funeral.
yeah, as long as you're past halfway, you can really
Is this boring
texturize
enough
it
for
a
you?
lot. And his hands will go faster and faster with years of practice. So now we're letting down a second section. Overall, we'll do
Yeah,
3
so
on the
look.
side.
We're on that next section. So when we pick this up, you have to keep in mind, you don't have to over thin that first section because when we lift this up, this is getting brought further around. So we're that very first section's more or less getting, if you could see it in there, it's just getting, it's almost like we're just doing this to that first section now because it's ending at the halfway mark of this one. So when we do about halfway, but a little further out this time, okay? Because then on this one we're going to do only a quarter in. So we went a halfway, a little bit more, and then just a fourth on the next one. So here, we're here. Does this make sense? And since we're going around like this, does that make sense to y'all that that very bottom section is traveling further to get here now?
Because of the elevation.
Higher up
Elevating it.
because we're elevated a little bit. So we'll go through this 3 or 4 times, whatever you think makes it look really good. This is so soft and blended on the edges that
Blend on anybody's
it would
head.
blend in most
Haircuts can handle this kind of cut.
It's a basic men's cut. You can style it a million ways.
That's true too. Yeah. So just go through that one more time, and then do the section here, and then we're down a little bit more hair. Elevated a tiny bit more. That helps you be safe on the last side.
I'm trying to be so boring with my texturizing.
Trying to be boring. Trying to be fast.
Is that faster? I feel like
You're
this-
not, but I am. The flare seems faster to you.
Yes.
Well, just get a metronome and we'll see.
We'll have a race.
So go to the, just take out a little bit there, do the same thing. Isabel doing it on the other side.
We should. Isabella, hop in.
No.
Tag, you're it.
Sorry, this isn't my show.
So you angling, like,
That's too,
You keep
that's
cutting.
too much.
What is the question?
are you angling, like, rounded, like, more like that into the back part?
I'm not quite getting that question.
Like, so you're doing line here, and then you bring the whole bottom part as well? Like, bring it all?
I don't think she realizes the base of the system goes deeper in the back, so we're just following the curve of the system. So there's no specific angle, we're just following the edge of the system.
Following the curve of the system.
I didn't know if I answered her
I didn't know if,
correctly.
like, the part was, like, angled. Like,
It goes with the perimeter of the
yeah, that's
system.
what I was.
Each time. Duller thinning shears that would pull their hair. That's why I got used to just going chop, 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 chop without holding it out. I think that's good. And then you're going to go pull out another section a little bit higher.
Each section goes a little bit bigger, and I'm getting on him about putting his tool down. Keep it in your hand, just make another section. You're not gonna, well, I guess you could have a little tray next to you, but
You gotta
not
cut
everyone does.
I would go a little bit thicker too. Like you did a teeny tiny line and you did a little bit more. You did the same thing again. Go a little bigger this time. Each one of these sections can grow a little bit.
So each section's a little bigger,
By your third section, you should be done on the
and you
sides.
cut closer to the
Just
end
texture
on each section.
Through the top. Of course, it depends on the size of the system, how far down it goes on the size. But usually 3 sections is all you need.
Are we elevating it
Yes.
even more or
So
about
yeah,
the same?
we are elevating it a little bit more each time, and now doing just that quarter. Yep, there you go. And so now we aren't even getting this hair anymore.
At all, it's
not
falling
even,
out.
It's not even reaching. It's about coming to about the edge of the back of the comb. But now we're getting the tips of the second section and a quarter of the third section.
And look, you don't have to pull out your thinning shear every time you close it.
Finally, the camera sees his face.
No pulling out.
We don't pull out. Oh, yeah, I just started pulling out. I'm sorry,
Yeah, but it's all happens on the break. And you're starting to go a little too straight across. You can get towards the tinning
guys. You heard it here first. Extension Guru says 45 your shears.
Heard it here first. You're saying that.
Exclusive.
It is. This is going on my YouTube channel. Can you send me this?
Do you even have a YouTube channel?
Give her your phone to live you.
Making it for
Yeah, so that is going to be a pretty good blend on the side. We'll end up texturing all of the top too, but do the other side as fast as you can. Same thing. Or
Hey guys, I'm Brennan. I will be showing you how to cut in a men's hair system today.
it wasn't on his face again.
Looking so good.
It is.
Callie?
Go.
And I could put this on literally any of my men's clients.
Yes, that's why I designed and developed and invented and patented this.
It's not patented.
$2 each time y'all do this.
That's a royalty.
No.
It doesn't really matter.
When you're cutting
No.
When you're
it's
cutting-
half and then your second.
a quarter, a half, and a fourth, or whatever, what you said.
Half.
a half a little bit further out than the
Yeah, we go
tips.
from a half in the first
3/4,
section
right.
to 3/4
There
in
we
the
go.
third section.
Yeah,
I
So-
couldn't do the math.
Well, so
No.
what's between a half
I
and
don't know what
3/4?
happens.
Put it in the
Oh,
So
comments.
we're halfway on the first
We
section.
can't do math.
And then officially he says a little further out.
Yes,
on the
that's
second
all you
section.
need to know. Just a
It's
little
true.
And then the
further out.
A
third
little further
section's
out.
a little bit further than
A
that.
quarter, just a fourth of this section. So you're on the second section, right? So you're lifting a little higher, kind of see this lift? And going a little further out than halfway from the scalp to here.
How do you make holy water?
You put water in a pot and boil the hell out of it.
That's a good one.
Get your third section. I do keep some pretty damp hair along the way too. That's one of the ways to control, not have to use clips.
And you can
You
have
heard it
your,
here first.
No, you can have your water boy spray your hair
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Whenever he thinks it's getting a little dry.
Oh, it's dry.
Thank
You
you.
said you spray your hair, right?
Now I can't see.
I saw the glasses.
I can see perfect. Look, I did pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
So now what
First
are
time
we
he said
In
it.
his life.
doing in his life?
That's my dad. If y'all didn't.
Did
know.
y'all hear that in stereo?
So now what?
A little bit further out.
A little more elevated and about a quarter now. Got it, Isabella?
Yep, got it.
A quarter from the end. What does that mean?
A little bit more than a
Come here.
Talk to Vidal Sassoon.
Yeah, this
He's the
section
Geo
right here.
guy.
Where's a quarter from the end gonna be?
Y'all know he used to drive a Geo.
Yeah.
When I first met him, he had a Geo.
Geo Metro. So now you gotta kind of think about two more sections to thin. You've gotta, while you're looking at them.
Because I don't know what they are.
So you've gotta
Well, I was
thin,
going through the whole top.
and I always think of the bangs as separate. You do have to thin the bangs some, but I used to take from the center to the back and do that same technique we just did, but then I would have these fuzzy, frizzy bangs because it wasn't blending in with any hair.
Right.
So it was just the
Those
end
are
of fuzzy.
okay to be thicker.
Right, so we need a little less here, but we do need some. And then we need some up here, but not nearly as much. So somewhere around that quarter section again. So I usually kind of lift this up and just kind of do sections back and forth going across there. And I just kind of do the bangs last because when you're pulling it up like that, you're going to get a tiny bit of bang potentially also.
So you want me to do this?
Yep, just like that, all the way across. Yep, and then you can do that on the other side too after.
And because he's grabbing little bitty sections like that, I'm okay with the thin and shears being kind of parallel to the comb
So this is
instead
what
of that
makes it not look like a
45
fresh
degree
haircut.
angle.
You know how people say you like your haircut after a few days, because most hairdressers cut with straight scissors, don't do any texturizing. Everybody's hair on everybody's head grows at different rates, and so all your hair will grow in a little. So over a few days, you have all this unevenness at the ends, and that's what most people are used to, the unevenness. When you first get a brand new cut, it's so super solid. And newer hairdressers, less experienced hairdressers right out of school, you should try to get as much of that out of your scissors too. That way it doesn't affect how much is getting cut. When you're right out of school, you learn how to cut with scissors. They don't really teach with razors and thin shears at most schools. So most inexperienced hairdressers just cut hair, done. And they leave with a real blunt haircut. And most people don't like their haircut for a few days till it gets kind of uneven and broken up on the ends. So by doing it on real clients, you'd have happier clients if you broke up those ends immediately.
I think
But-
this is heavy.
But on hair replacement, it's never going to grow. So if you leave them solid lines, it's staying like that forever. So you've got to create the illusion of it grew.
I think that looks heavy on that back crown area.
Look at it smelling.
It is snow. No, that's dandruff.
This is one of the advantages of cutting it on
I know I do it to my clients all the time.
a mannequin head too. And I agree. Like if we look at this, it's looking pretty good. It may be a little
Oh,
thick
well, we
right
haven't
in
done
here.
things yet.
Well, it's a little behind the bangs. And then in the back, he's saying that it looks a little thick.
No, it is.
Yeah, and it is. It's a little thicker enough, so I texturize a little bit right there. This is where texturizing shears is definitely
It's an art.
a looksy feelsy
looking
A
pretty
thing.
good.
looksy feelsy thing.
An art.
You heard it here first.
You were second. Maybe I was second.
But you heard it here first.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's where it was heard.
It's where it was heard.
You ever break the teeth on your comb with those?
With these?
Yeah. So I used to clean
Don't do it on mine.
No, I'm not. But if you do it like that, it's a hard surface for this to come out. But I accidentally hit them this way a few times. You hit it hard enough.
Oh, and it breaks.
Boom, it's
Dude.
good. Yeah, so I'll do like that. Or,
No. What? Look, I'll show you how to do it.
oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
That was kind of funny. I thought there was going to be
What about now?
much more.
Yeah.
Hey guys, today I'm cutting bangs. Do you think they'll know that this is all on the same day, or can we make it seem like
Yeah, because you have the same shirt and tattoo on.
Don't say that. Sorry.
Very good angles.
See?
Tiny bit elevated.
What's the client's name so that I can say a little prayer for him?
I like it.
I'm gonna call him a
I
Bart.
date him.
You would?
Yeah.
That stuck to that mannequin so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you, Isabella.
That cut is great.
I know everything. I owe everything to Bernard.
Can't see not much of your chin. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Whoa, no man parts on that side. I mean, some do, but
He does.
well, he can part on either side. Honestly, I cut it that way. No,
Yeah, it does. So I'll look at it all the way around and just maybe
I think it's so thick back there.
maybe a little thick just right here.
Just right there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let you throw the finishing touches on it so that you can say you cut it. Like it's like a Blake Nelson Boyd thing.
So a lot of times you're looking at it, you think it's here.
But it's higher. Oh.
Yeah, it's higher. It's
Yeah. Well, I
it's up
think it
here
might need to
or
be
even here.
tapered more in the actual.
Yeah, it's a
cut.
little long.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So that's why I'm actually shortening it
Right,
now.
you're cutting the devil out of it to get it.
Right, so it becomes a holy hair.
Oh, that's
That was funny.
Can I have this chair for my home office?
No.
I'll give you the one that's in there now.
Here's against the rules. That was cut in length by going perpendicular.
So I know this ends just a little abruptly, but we end up putting this on the client. He loved it. We didn't even have to do any tweaking in the haircut. It worked so great. So think about doing some pre-cuts before your clients come. It saves a lot of time when the client gets there in the chair. Of course, you have to know your client, the haircut, and it can save you tons of time, which of course makes you a little bit more money during the day, but also helps get those clients out a little bit quicker. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We have a full haircut of a hair replacement system on actual client that we might link in the description or show it somewhere here, but go back and find that one if you want to see me personally do the cut. Same techniques for a full client model live. Thanks guys.